What's going on, Washington Commanders Nation? It's your boy Rio Robinson, back with the latest and greatest on the Rambling with Rio YouTube channel, where we ramble about the Washington Commanders. Today is Tuesday, June 6th, and the Commanders started mini camp, mandatory mini camp, meaning we were in full attendance. 100% of the roster showed up. They had picture day yesterday. Got some cool flicks off. There was some cool stuff they did with the photographers where they were taking pics at the like they were. It was the first day of school. It's pretty much like yearbook picture day, but mini camp. This is when things start to get ramped up a little bit more so than the OTAs, with only one OTA session left next week. Everybody was back in attendance, and the main story out of Ashburn, 99 and 90 showed up, but the headliner is Chase Young back in attendance, and he looks like he got his explosion back. Stella got her groove back, ladies and gentlemen. The guy looks explosive. He doesn't look like he's thinking about or favoring his knee, and he looks like he's finally healed 100%, and he sounds like it. He sounds motivated. He didn't give the media any bulletin board material or fodder when it came to the questions, because they were all asking, oh, how disappointed were you that they didn't pick up the option and stuff. He just sounds ready to go, man. He said he feels night and day comfortable mentally and physically than he was at the close last year, and everybody sounds like they were wowed by his athleticism at practice today. I even heard someone describe him using a word that made me excited. They said he came off the edge with bend on Cornelius Lucas and would have had Sam Howell wrapped up for a sack. I heard the word bend. We got real excited in the group chat. We saw the word bend and said, say what? So it's a good thing to hear. And they said he got past Charles Leno. Not a surprise. He got past Charles Leno and what would have been another sack. So first day of minicamp was the Chase Young 99 Invitational. Him and Montez Sweat back in the building, the D-line doing work as they always do. And outside of Chase Young, you know what the other main story is. EB and Sam Howell. One of the reporters had reported that EB kicked somebody out of the huddle earlier and said, if you don't want no work, if you don't want to work, if you don't want to hustle, get the fuck out the huddle and somebody else will. They didn't put what player it was, but they said it wasn't a starter, just to show that intensity EB's bringing to practice every day. And he told somebody, man, somebody else wants the work if you don't. So go ahead and hop out of line if you hear the bullshit. Every time I hear something about ED, it just sounds like head coaching material, man. He sounds like an old school, hard-ass technician, detail-oriented guy. I love hearing these things about him. How up and down day, as you're going to always expect. He's going against a premier defense in this league that is finally at full strength. There are 6 first rounders on our defense out of our 11 players. Cam Curl was out there, but during the team portion of the practice, he kind of just mirrored and went through mental reps from about 50 yards back. But we know Curl's going to be there when we get to training camp, and his contract situation, it's at a standstill until we get this ownership shit ratified, because when the owners come in, they can discuss it with Ron and them probably going to say, we want to pay him this, we want to extend him. They're going to say, okay, we did our evaluation on the player. We're going to allocate the funds for you to do it. Can't do that right now, but hopefully tomorrow when Josh Harris meets with the competition and finance committee, they can get that shit worked out, and they could get a vote by the end of June, early July. But back to the football stuff. Hall of Famer Warren Sapp for the second year in a row. Warren Sapp is mentoring the guys. Imagine getting the tutelage from a first ballot Hall of Fame defensive lineman, And we got our all-time leading sack getter of all time, Ryan Kerrigan, as the assistant D-line coach. If you can't pick up anything from these two guys, I don't know what to tell you. And they appear to have a very good rapport with Jeff Zanina, who filled in for Sam Mills, who apparently everybody hated, fan base and personnel and staff. It didn't feel like anyone liked Sam Mills. Sam Mills was a nepotism hire. And it seemed pretty clear, because for a guy to get fired right in the middle of training camp, that should tell you a lot about how they felt about that guy. And none of the players stood up and came out and seemed to miss him. So I'm glad to see the D-line working with Warren Sapp again. Warren Sapp loves these boys, man. He speaks the world of our forward defensive linemen that should be wrecking the league for years to come over here. But Zach Selby wrote Sam Howell went 15 of 24. That's 9 incompletions with 2 interceptions today through 11 on 11s and 7 on 7s and blitz drills. Don't worry about the stats and don't worry about turnovers in practice. This is when we want him to turn the ball over, but the highs are very high and the lows are norm. It's normal level lows. He's not going out here and shit in the bed in any practices. And I'm glad to hear one of the interceptions went to a guy we want to see have a breakout season, Khaleke Hudson. We want to know what we're getting from this linebacker position from newcomer Cody Barton and who's going to be the next guy in line after Jamin and Barton. And we're hoping it's Khaleke Hudson, who flashed in week 18 last year. He had a nice diving interception. Forbes and Quan Martin looked the part. Derek Forrest said they looked the most ready of young DBs he's ever seen coming into training camp, which is not saying too much because Forrest has been in the league for 2 years. He's only seen a couple crops of DBs over those couple years. Who's the only other young DB he's seen? Percy Butler. But Marcus Kemp, they said, had back-to-back nice catches to cap off the first series, and he made Emmanuel Forbes spin in a circle. He put a veteran move on him, so it's nice to hear EB's guy that he brought over from Kansas City making moves. Logan Thomas and Cole Turner, the tight ends, have been sharp, and they've been leaning on Logan, so Logan might have a much bigger role than we anticipated earlier this offseason, and they appear to love the guy. I know he wears the C on his chest, and the guys in the locker room love him, but he also appears like Chase Young to be not hampered from his knee that he was kind of dragging around the field for the majority of last season. He said Dotson, Curtis Samuel, and Zion Bowens all showed good footwork, working on sideline catches today. And back to Howell for a second, man. Every time they show a clip of that boy throwing the ball, it just looks so easy for him. The process looks so effortless. His base, his feet, his release, the spin on his spiral, it looks so good. They put out a clip of him throwing like a hitch to Terry right over his outside shoulder, ball in hand, boom, catch, run. It's all one motion. I cannot stress how much I'm looking forward to having a quarterback that could give the wide receivers chance to get yards after the catch. Yards after the catch. It means so much. We have 3 speed demons on the outside on offense, and 4 if Gibson ever plays like he ran a 4.3 as well. We got all this speed on this offense. You know what you do with speed? You put it out in space, because when you get speed in space, you make guys make business decisions, and you put guys on 1-on-1 situations where you better make the tackle, because if you don't, it's going to be a huge gain or a house call. We need that shit. And I seen that they Dove Kleinman of Bro Bible. He's a faceless guy on Twitter who has like an animated profile picture, but he always gets things stirred up on NFL Twitter. He came out with the report that Washington is now listening to offers for Chase Young. Don't fall for the finesse. Don't fall for the swindle. It is now June. It's early June. And they know after this week of minicamp, there's going to be no stories from mid-June all the way till training camp starting up until the end of July. And they need some traction right now. They're trying to raise some. He pulled up some like old Albert Breer statement where Albert Breer said that Washington was listening to trade calls for Chase Young. And they only pulled it out today because all the buzz out of Washington is that he looks like he's returned to form. His explosion is back, and he got asked a million questions in Ashburn today. This is not a story. This is a non-story. They've been listening to offers. People have been inquiring about Chase Young since the draft, and I think his window to have been traded expired after the draft finished. What value would they have to trade Chase Young at this point, bro? We're in season mode now. We are in get ready for the season. We need to produce. We need to all save our ass mode. Not trading Chase Young right now. Like, what are we even talking about? So don't fall for these stories, these rumors. And Albert Breer immediately backtracked this shit and said, well, I hear he's looking good in Ashburn, and I wouldn't guess that they would trade him or have any real interest in moving him at this point. Guys, relax. 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 Chase is going to be here in a prove-it situation. Montez Sweat is going to be here in a prove-it situation. The whole damn team is in a prove-it situation. We have new ownership. Everybody's auditioning. It's like a job fair. It's like everybody has to pull up with their resume brushed up and explain what they've done for the new owners lately. Everybody's working their ass off to try to be a part of the foreseeable, immediate future of the Washington Commanders. Day one of minicamp. It's not going to be a crazy amount of news coming out of here. Ron is still trying to peddle that quarterback competition formality shit. I got a video coming on that soon. I'm going to discuss that in a separate video. It's the Sam Howell show until proven otherwise. He's getting all the number one reps. Brissett even talked about it. He said we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But you know how things go with this, and you know how coach speak goes. I'm just excited. We got the media out there for 3 days to give us updates. Give me all the clips and give me all the Chase Young propaganda of him turning corners, showing bend, and getting after quarterbacks, because I want to see it in 2023. I'm looking at these two guys on the edge that you see on this thumbnail, Chase Young and Montez Sweat. Why can't they go for 14 plus sacks? They're both first round picks. They both are carved and built like Greek gods. Why can't they give me 14 plus sacks in a season? I've seen guys with way lesser talent bases and by like athleticism get a lot of sacks. I want to see it. I got to see it. And they're going to be the storyline for the defense, because we already know the secondary is going to be fire. We already know what them Bama boys is going to do. How good and how close to scratching the ceiling will these two friends, 99 and 90, get in 2023? But that's all I got for right now. I'll be back to hit y'all with anything new. If there's any updates or any breaking news or anything like that, your boy will be here for the update. Tomorrow's day 2 of mandatory minicamp before it concludes on Thursday. Ron said there will be no cutting it short, because typically NFL teams, after 2 days of minicamp, they give the team the third day off and say, you guys, you know what? Y'all earned it. He said, yeah, we lost a week of OTAs because of last year. We won't be giving nobody the day off. They will be here for all 3 days. So I'll be locked in with y'all every time after practice. So I'll see y'all again tomorrow. Until next time, hail to the Washington Commanders. Rio out.